Hi, good morning to everyone again. Today is Saturday, 18th of March. It is a great opportunity to be here again. Looking forward to have a good moment with you all. Let's do a quick prayer. Father, we are starting again another Saturday in our lives. Here we are in this blessing moment, trying to learn a little bit of what we are, how to be, and whom to help with our knowledge. Be with us, give us the right support, the right intuition, today and always. So, let me share the book with you all. And of course, the book is not, for some reason, I got it. Now it will go. So let me open up here. I need to close this one. I need to share again. Here we go. Let me just move that to the bottom because that will be better for me. Today, we started chapter 9, Haunted Places. Quite often, people relate to spirits to haunted places. That's where they think we'll see spirits, where we'll be with the spirits, where they can be with us, right? Let's see what Kardec has to say about that. The spontaneous manifestations which have occurred down through time and the persistence of certain spirits is making their presence ostensibly felt in certain places, have given origin to the belief in haunted places. The following responses were given to questions about them. Munir, I am delighted to see this word. It's the first time that comes to my attention, Munir. Ostensibly.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. Do spirits attach themselves to individuals only or to things also? That is a question that a lot of us we have. Because deep inside we have fear. We have concerns. If I'm going to a place, if I'm going to a museum, if I'm going to a church, do we have spirits attached to that thing? So let's see what they say. It depends on how evolved they are. Certain spirits may attach themselves to earthly objects. For example, misers who have hidden their money and who are not sufficiently dematerialized may continue to watch over and guard it. Now we have a problem. Now we know spirits can be attached to material objects. Now I'm thinking, I have bought that particular thing in a used shop, and it is now in my house. I have bought a used book. What should I do now? Because when I bought, I did not realize that we may have a spirit attached to it. And I can see that Liz raised her hand already. Hi, Liz. Liz, will be better if you open your mic.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, you have to be careful when you buy secondhand furniture or anything like that, because you can bring attachments into your home. I actually bought a lovely second-hand coat at Camden Market when I was in London, took it home, put it in my wardrobe, and a spirit was attached to it. And there was this awful smell around that coat. Luckily, my friend, who was also a spiritist, was living with me, and we cleared the rooms and said, you know, this coat now belongs to me. Please leave us alone. And luckily it went. So the lady was attached to her coat.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it can happen. It can happen. And sometimes the spirit may understand. Sometimes the spirit may have some difficulty to understand. Now we have people really concerned about it. Hi, Sandra.
Now I'm thinking, because, okay, second-hand stuff makes sense to me. But how about when you buy anything new? So we don't know the workers or the owner of the factory or the condition, if they were also surrounded by not so good spirits, yes?
It's the same process.
At the same process, yeah, that's what I thought.
The same process.
Okay.
Let's speak a little bit now about that, because I'm pretty sure I made some of you thinking about, oh dear, what I'm going to do now. Yes, we do have spirits there. When they passed beyond the grave, they are so attached to the material things that they do not want things to have the destination the living are giving to their belongs. It can stay for a period of time, small, long. It depends on the maturity of the spirit. It depends how the spirit will be assisted. It depends how the spirit will see himself or herself in the spiritual world. If the person is a materialist person that is very, very attached to his or hers belongs when she or he is incarnated, yes, he won't let it go. It's mine. I bought it. I work hard to have it. It's mine. Why you are touching my things? You know? What should we do then? When we do have the need to buy, or we are inclined to buy something that already had a previous owner, and that will make some of you really concerned. Even the houses. We're talking about small things, furniture, small objects, but houses, quite often, especially in Europe, they are 300 years old, right? What should we do then? Well, I would suggest, make a prayer. Try to explain that you have used your belongings for so long, and I will try to look after in the best way I can. If we're talking about a book, for example, the knowledge that is in this book will not only help me to achieve what you have achieved, but also will be able to help others. So I'm here asking your permission to acquire the same knowledge, to help others. There's always a way to get around, right? So that is a topic that's very interesting. And for example, we are looking in the market to buy a house. Sometimes you get into that house and we say, oops, no, thank you. We don't even need to go inside. No, I'm okay. No, I'm happy. I don't like the house. Because sometimes the energy inside is so dense that someone with a little bit of sensitivity will feel straight away. right? When I said to Sandra that the process is the same if you buy something new or used, is because the magnetism is neutral. The process is the same. Depending how the object is magnetized, consciously or not, the process is exactly the same. Of course, we will start the conversation talking about buying something that belonged to someone else. So somewhere along the line, the item had some attachment with another person. In that case, it's not the same, because when you go to a shop to buy something new, rarely you have that kind of attachment. But the magnetism that we have everywhere in the world is there. The process is the same. All right? Do errant spirits. Anyone want to say anything?
I think it was your echo.
Okay. Do errant spirits show a predilection for certain places? It is the same principle. Spirits who are not attached to earth prefer where they can practice loving deeds. These spirits are more attracted to people than to material objects. Nevertheless, there are those who might prefer certain places for a while, but they are always less evolved spirits. Let me talk about this expression, less evolved spirits. We are less evolved spirits, okay? We are not evolved. We are on the way, but we are not evolved yet. So any spirit on earth, with rare exceptions, are not evolved spirits, are less evolved spirits. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, okay? There are enormous graduation of less evolved spirits. That is just to give an idea of what we're going to be talking here now. I will make a question. These spirits I may encounter in a place of worship are the same spirits I will encounter in a place where we sell or we buy sex, for example. The spirits we can find in a hospital are the same spirits we'll find in a pub. I guess we all know the answer, right? Even if you don't know anything about spiritism, we'll know the answer. Why I'm saying that? Because there's a lot of spiritists that advocate that, no, I can go to any place and I will be protected in any place, and I can, and that's okay. Today is the day I can go to that place because it's my day in the week. The other 6 days on the week, I won't do it, but that day I will, because I like it. What happens when you go to a place where spirits, they like to be in that type of place, come in contact with you? Is that positive? What happened after you finish that period in time? Let's say Monday to Sunday, right? Monday is the day that I allow myself to go to that place because I like it. You choose the type of place you want to go. 10 o'clock in the evening, Sunday, it's time to go back home. Will you go back home alone? Or will you go back home with some companies? They like the same thing you like. We all know the answer. And why I'm doing those questions is to make us think. Is to make us think. We used to say that mediums are mediums 24/7. Yes, mediums are mediums 24/7. You are not able to allow your mediumship outside those places or out of that day, and only where again your mediumship Tuesday onwards or onwards. You are medium 24/7. And that is well known in the Spiritist environment. But now remove the word mediums. Let's replace the word medium by the word spirits. We are spirits 24/7. And yes, we are incarnated spirits, nevertheless, spirits. Many people don't like to hear that kind of thought because that makes us think of, oops, even worse. If I never thought about that before, now I have another problem because now I will. So every Monday when I'm going to, oh dear Lord, why that guy said that thing? And the Spiritism has this effect on people. When you go to a lecture in any Spiritist center around the world, you sit on the chair and you start to listen. A few minutes later, I think he's talking about me. He's sending me a message. Why is that? Because deep inside, we know what is right, what is wrong. And I like to say, no one here used to get a hammer and hit the fingers for pleasure, not put the finger on the power socket. 220 is not pleasant, I can guarantee you. So we don't do that because we know it's wrong. But things that are wrong that give us pleasure, we look in another direction. We are prepared to look in another direction. But when we are exposed to a lecture, for example, on the Spiritist Center, that person that is talking is bringing my memories alive again. Like, oh, I know it's not good. I know it's not ideal, but I like to do anyway. And that's fair. I'm not here judging anyone, not at all. But this is the kind of things that we have a hard time to accept, especially in the beginning. But as we move along, as we see the truth in what we say, and we really encounter ourselves with those principles, things change. But that happens to all of us.
Yes, Christine.
Hi, Christine.
Hi. Yesterday, I rang my son, or last night, and it was about 7 o'clock in the evening, and he said, I can't speak for long because we're for Sarah. And I said, who's Sarah? Because I don't know any Sarah. And he said, oh, they're in this place that is known to be haunted. And he's with another man who between them, they go in search of spirits to find out, to get any sort of vibration or sound recorded, and to investigate what that sound is, or what that vibration is, and to the people that ask them to go there to verify that, yes, we've picked up this noise and we've heard this voice. They've got the equipment. So he couldn't talk to me for long, but they were looking for a person by the name of Sarah, and I haven't gotten back in contact with him, but he does that quite often. But I said, well, they're called peri-spirits. They, you know, and you need to be careful because sometimes they may not be nice.
I think your first reaction is right. My first line of thought when you start to say, I would not encourage people to do it because I would not do it myself. But then I had another line of thought saying, observe the kind of objective they are trying to achieve. So anything we do with the spirits, the most important is to think about the outcome. What are you trying to achieve? In that case you described, my sister, are they trying to have fun? I would not recommend. Are they trying to help? Even if they are not prepared to do so, are they trying to help? That is a different thing. I would encourage this person, in that case, I think is your son, isn't it? To understand a little bit more about the spiritual realm. I would encourage him to read 3 books. To read, at least. I'm not saying study, to read. The Spirit's book, the Gospel, according to the Spiritism, and the Medium's book, this one we are reading. Why I'm saying about those 3 books? The Spirit book will give him an overview of the spiritual world he's playing with. I think that is important to know what you're playing with. You will not ask for a butcher to perform an eye surgery, would you? Definitely not. You ask for a doctor who his expertise is to perform eye surgeries. So you need to get acquainted with enough information to be safe in any type of endeavor you may have. 2, after being acquainted to those informations that make me familiar or a little bit more familiar with the spiritual realm, it's time to understand about charity and love. That is in the Gospel. Because charity and love are your shield, your protection. It's better to understand that. And then, as a result of my search, we'll end up with a mediumistic phenomena, because that's what they're trying to find with the equipment, looking for vibration, looking for anything else. I would also recommend at least to read the Medium's book. I hope it helped, my sister, because playing with fire, you get burned.
Yes. That's it. That's it.
I have another hand. Elsoli, please.
Good morning, friends. Good morning, Guilherme. Good morning. Oh, it's not good morning now. Okay. And when I moved to Sweden, because it was related. This is related to this topic. When I moved to Sweden, the first little house I lived there, it was a lot of physical manifestation. all of the year, 1 year's manifestation in the kitchen, a lot of, and my husband, that time, I believed in anything, and I knew in my heart that it was to him to understand, to believe we are spirits evolved around us all the time. And I have I need to walk to Brazil, I don't remember rest. I don't remember word to move, not to move, but I need to come to Brazilian one time, and I remember I talked about this manifestation, but last week I would to come to Brazilian for a while. I remember I was alone, and in the morning in the bed, because my husband walked to take driving card, and a Swedish drive card. He was Swedish, but he needed to take once a new. And I was alone, and I heard clap, 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 up in my stairs. I said, "Oh, good." And I took one, we women, we usually have a very soft nothing, so we use them to go in the morning. And I took this one. I think it was a thief. But what I didn't know that I didn't know I had the mediunity or to I don't know name. And will come out my body, and I meet this spirit. He was very, very nice and very clean. So it was very clean. So, and he was a doctor. He had one bag like 2050. 90 to 50. And he talked, but I didn't understand. It was Arabian speech, and I didn't understood. And but I knew that he didn't want to do something more to me, not anything bad. He was, I think he was lost only. And I raced to Brazilian. I walked to Brazilian, and there I talked with my friends in Victoria, and then Victoria Spirits Federation. There they say also we will do one experience, because they imagine they can't know about, but they will try. I will say it today to them go to Brazilian and try to find this spirit in your house. They find it, and they helped it, and never more in their house, no more problems. I come back, and my husband said, "What's happened? It was so silent and no problem. Not what's happened." I tried to talk to him, but this was, I don't know if I believe it, but I said after this, then our spirit, then the head spirit have to help.
Well, nice example, Soli, nice example. And let me use that to speak about a couple of things. One, in that case, it seems to be a nice spirit, but that's not always the case. A medium does not choose the type of spirit that come closer to him. Can be any type of spirit, right? Another thing is, I'm having some phenomena in my place. Am I a medium of physical effect? Not necessarily. Maybe my neighbor. Maybe someone in the area.
Yes.
To happen the phenomena, what he needs is ectoplasm. Doesn't need to be in the very same room. Doesn't need to be from the very same house. Could be from the area. And when we do have encounter, when we do encounter some events like that, should I be scared? Of course not.
Oh.
Yeah, but we all will be. Because it's natural, it's human, right? So we will be scared. Yes, I'm a spirit. I want to see spirits. But when I see for the first time, I want to run. That's very natural. That's very natural. So any phenomena is natural. To happen a phenomena more ostensibly, I love this word, Monia. We need to have some proper environment, mediums, do things like that, right? We already discussed about that. And I see another hand. Hi, Liz.
Hi, I just I wanted to say an experience that I had when I was a teenager, and it got stuck in my head. But now talking about ectoplasm and physical effects, and it came to my mind again, which was in the middle of the night. I had to go to the toilet. I was very unwell. I was ill. I had a very bad flu. And I went to the toilet. On the way back, I felt this push, and pushed me very hard, that I fell, and my bed was right beside the wall. There was no space between one side of my bed to the wall. And I hit my head on the wall, falling into the bed. And it was really frightening to me because everyone was asleep. There was nothing. I put lights on and just, was really frightened then. And it happened then, and it didn't happen again. So I just wanted to see your view on how do the spirits also need ectoplasm to use certain, to do this sort of movements onto people, because we know, for example, in Heaven and Hell, there are some examples of spirits that were haunting houses, and they slapped people and they scratched people. So what would be involved in that?
What we know is that to this spirit, to have any interaction to that level, he needs to have the ability, conscious or not, to use ectoplasm. Because then he will interact with a different type of matter. His matter Let me picture something different here. We have three different spirits. One spirit can push another one. One spirit can pinch another one. Because they are in the same type of environment, the same type of matter. But they are not able to do that with us unless they have some interface. And that interface is the ectoplasm. It has to be found somewhere. It doesn't need to be from the human, could be from a little animal, could be from nature, but quite often from humans. And they need to have that interface to be able to do so, right? And yes, spirits can push you, can make you trip and fall. They can do things like that. And many people will say, that's not true. All right then. I'm not, as I used to say, I'm not here to convince anyone. I'm here to share experiences, to share the little we know. And yes, if we study, if we comprehend the mechanisms that are involved in a materialization, in a physical effects, phenomena, then you come to me and say, yes, it's possible, it's not possible. But yes, we need to first be exposed, we have to leave, because there's a lot of things people may come here and say that no one will believe, because I was never exposed to that kind of thing. Until the day we are. The day we are, we may change our mind. But as Kardec says, the phenomena itself is not what changed your perception. It's when you know, when you start to learn about it. All right? So let me move on a little bit. Constance, I see your hand. How are you doing?
Hi, yeah. I want to share some experience I had when I moved to the UK. My first job was in a club. I found a job as a cleaner, and I started working there, but the energy was so, I felt strange when I was there. And when I start work, I start to feel like people was there, and I was alone, but I feel people moving around, and I start to be afraid. So I decide to take my Bible with me, and every day when I before I left home, I used to pray, and then when I reached there, I used to pray as well, and I open my Bible every day and read one page of the Bible, and I start to ring or sing Christian songs, and I felt like everyone is in the bar was looking at me. It's not everyone, like people. It was a spirit, I think. And when I start to feel like afraid, I start talk. I used to talk. I was sometimes I said I'm crazy. I'm talking alone, but I start to talk, and I start to tell that, oh, I'm not here to do nothing wrong. All I need you to permit me to work, to do my job, that people can come back again to drink, because you need people to drink. So I need job. So all I need is you to leave me to work. And yeah, I worked, I think after 2-3 months, the manager, she asked me if everything is okay. I said, yes, it's okay. And I asked her why. She said, oh, because a lot of people, they sometimes they work a day, sometimes they don't finish a day and they run away. And I asked her why. She said, I don't know. Oh, okay. And I continue to work, but me, I know why inside, because already I experienced. And one day I was so scared. I don't know what happened. Even the first time I went through there, I was scared. I couldn't concentrate to pray, nothing. And on the middle of my work, I listened like a girl was screaming, and I feel that screaming inside myself. And the pictures in the wall start fall, continue, all fall, and something strange happened, lights and everything. For the first time in my life, I was terrified. I ran to outside. I was shaking, and people, they look at me the way I was in the street. They asking me if everything is okay, but nothing was okay because my bag, everything was inside. And I put my knees in street. I started to pray in street. And then I went back there, and I picked my bag and everything, and I went outside and I wait for the manager. I told her I don't want to work here anymore, and she said, "Why?" I said, "No." She said, "But you work here for long, and I don't know what happened. My Bible disappeared. I tried to find my Bible. I couldn't find. Disappeared. I don't know where the Bible went until today. I didn't find my Bible." So was that experience I had wasn't good for me, and for the first time, because I never had that experience before.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, Constantia, what you just said is a very good example. Indeed, very good example. And your reaction were right. Pray when we feel something like that to give us the strength. Sometimes I have no choice. I have to work. I have to go through it. So I need protection to allow me to continue. Right. So yes, things like that happen. Talking outside, people may say we are crazy. But there's a lot of crazy people in the world then, because we see examples like that all over the world, different people, different belief, different time, in age. So yes, it does happen, right? And we need to learn with that. That is the thing, we need to learn with that. And when things like that happen, it's not just to scare us or anything like that. I prefer to see those events as a wake-up call. Perhaps you would never be with us today if you haven't had that experience yourself. So when we are exposed to any mediumship phenomena, this is a wake-up call. It's up to each one of us to identify what this wake-up call means. But it's there to all of us. Very good, Constantia. Since a spirit attachment to a place is a sign of impurity, does it also mean that it is evil? Ooh. Of course not. A spirit can be little advanced without being evil. Doesn't the same occur amongst individuals? I really like to remember everyone that we are less evolved spirits. And we all have different needs. We all have different attachments. I love my coat. I love my book. I love this chair. I love my piano, or anything else you may think. I die. It's my piano, for God's sake. Munir, take your hands out of my piano. It's mine. I like Munir, but piano is mine. I don't care if he knows how to play. It's mine. And I'm not evil. We are so quick in judge everyone and everything. But every time we are exposed to some phenomena, we need to give a step back We need to analyze. And then we may come to a different conclusion. But in the first event, when something happens, it's just a spirit. It doesn't mean it's evil. Perhaps it's a suffering spirit, it's asking for help. And he just realized that you can hear, you can sense. And he's for so long trying to speak to someone that can, and he didn't have that opportunity. So when he sees you, oh my God, it's now. I cannot miss that opportunity. I need to make that person realize that I'm here, that I need something. So I'll start making noises in the kitchen. I'll start to make some funny things or whatever. All right? Is there any factual basis for the belief that spirits prefer to frequent ruins? No. Spirits go to those places as well as anywhere else. But people's imagination are impressed by the lugubrious aspects of certain places and attribute to their presence what is only, in most cases, a very natural effect. How often does fear turns a tree shadow into a ghost, a growl of animal, or a whistling of the wind into a spirit? Spirits enjoy the human presence, and that is why they prefer inhabited places to abandoned places. And a spiritual friend came to my mind now. Her name was Eulalia. She used to come to our meetings, and she came for years. From the beginning, she was in her home. She wanted to be in her home. She did not want to create any harm. She did not want to do anything bad to anyone. But she felt safe in her home, her chair. And she stayed with that environment for years. Then she was brought to our meeting, and we started to have conversation. It took, I don't want to say any lie, but there was at least 1 year of conversations with her to make her feel like it was time to let it go. And after, she came quite often. Hi, I'm here. I came to see you. I came to talk, blah, blah, blah. But there was like a year of conversation, friendly conversations, to make her realize that she did not need to be there anymore. She was not there to create any harm, but it was her time to go, to grow up, if we can say like that. So we have so many different possibilities. Hi, Liz.
I just wanted to call attention that when you said in the beginning, Guilherme, that we are all spirits. We are here incarnated and they are without a physical body. And but nevertheless, we are all humans. We have our complexities and our pains, our history, our experiences. That's going to influentiate how we deal with certain things. And how terrifying is that all of a sudden you don't understand that you went through the transformation of passing, and you want to talk to people and no one is there to listen to you because they can't. And it's really terrifying, this experience, for anybody really, because if you are there, you are alive. You continue to be alive, and you feel alive as ever. And sometimes, as we see in the literature, like they feel a little bit more revitalized even after passing, some spirits. So it is really a terrifying experience for them to all of a sudden no one You go through the streets, maybe, you know, you just, look at me, talk to me, and no one is really talking. That is terrifying.
Liz, people might have had a hard time to understand what you're saying, right? Because they don't foresee themselves on the other world passing through those experiences. But there is something we can do when we are incarnated. I encourage you all to buy a flight ticket to Timbuktu. In Timbuktu, they do not speak English. They do not speak Portuguese, do not speak French, do not speak Spanish. They only speak Timbuktuian. That is not very well known in the world. When you open your aircraft door, you have a very nice lady, and you don't understand. You go to immigration and you start to thinking like, oh my God, everything is written in this Timbuktuian language that I don't even know what is written, but I'm following the queue because the queue is moving to that direction. When I managed to go to immigration and leave the airport, it's even worse. Everything is different. Language is different. I'm dressed in a different way that everyone is ignoring me because I'm not one of them. These are experiences we can all do. And something came to my mind that in that moment, when I realized that no one's paying attention to me, I also realized that there's a massive group staring at me because I'm different. Those are experiences we can live, and that will bring to us a better understanding of what Lee said, because it's not easy. It seems to be easy, but not always. Nonetheless, by what we know about the diversity of the temperaments among the spirits, there must be a misanthropes. I don't have a clue what it means. Misanthropes, who may. So, if you are there, help me. Who may?
I think it's people who don't really. They're not charitable, I guess. Is that right?
Okay. I don't know.
Something like that. They
I'll
don't like being with people.
Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you.
Yeah, a person who dislikes humankind and avoids human society.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Google. So that is why I did not give you a definitive answer to your question. I stated that they can go to abandoned places as well as anyone else. So it is obvious that those who avoid human contact do so because it suits them. It does not mean, however, that ruins are necessarily preferred by spirits, since it is certain that they are more often found in cities and in places than deep in the woods. And we'll stop here. Let me just say, and let me stop sharing so we can see each other better. Well, we have a couple minutes, and I would like to come back to the subject of areas we choose to go. I'm a father. I have 2 teenagers. And when we were teenagers, what we would like to do? Go to the pub, to the nightclub, to massive areas of people, tons of people in that area. That's part of the process of growing up. At that time, when it was my case, I did not feel comfortable in those places. I never did. To a certain extent, I forced myself to be in those places because all my friends were. I did not want to be an ugly duck out of the club, right? But I did suffer going to those places. And that characteristics remains. if I'm going today to a place where it's not a nice place, I suffer. Physically, I suffer. And we have enough information on the Spiritism to understand that are places and places. There are good places and bad places. You will not find anything good in a bad place, period. And I heard for many years one person I love telling me, I'm going in those places to help. He was lying to himself. When we are exposed to the local energy, vibration, atmosphere, we are in directly contact with those. If I have a little crack in my shield, is where things may start. A little crack in my shield, I may leave that place feeling everything's all right. But after a period of time, and that could be years, the little crack will show the results. Talking back about my kids, if they decide to go to places like that, I cannot prevent. My daughter, for example, she has some of my characteristics. She cannot go to places like that because she feels sick. I'm happy because that will minimize her exposure to that kind of environment. But it does not happen to everyone. And if we like to hear or not, if we believe or not, spirits that are in those places, the great majority are not friendly spirits. Some of them are suffering spirits. Some of them are more going to the evil side. So we all have to make a choice in our lives, what we want to be, where we want to be, with whom I want to be. One thing is clear. The human physics show to us that the opposite attracts one another. The physics on the spiritual world is the opposite. We need to keep that in mind. In the spiritual world, what I like will attract someone from the spiritual world that likes the same as me. And to reverse some scenarios like that is not easy and brings a lot of sorrow. So we all have the information and we all have the free will. It's up to one of us, each one of us, to decide what we want to do. So we have 1 minute left, and I would like to wish you all a wonderful Saturday, that your homes will be in peace, that you have a great opportunity to exercise everything we try to understand here, and perhaps have you all here again in a week's time. So let's do a quick prayer. Munir and Charles, they were very quiet today, so I would like Munir to do a final prayer.
Sure. Let's close our eyes. Let's enjoy a bit more the presence of the benefactors, the ambience of this study group, thanking them for this opportunity. May those who couldn't be with us today also benefit from this gathering. May we take whatever we've learned today, the exchange of experiences, the teachings from the Spirit, and the medium's book. May it all be with us and slowly be part of us, of how we see the world, how we see and treat our fellow men and women. May we be with the presence of the good spirits very close to us, exchanging thoughts and good vibrations throughout the week. Until we meet again for yet another day of study. So be it.
Thank you, Munir. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Looking forward to see you all again next Saturday.
Thank you.